Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Annabel Tintingon. So in this video, I will explain about the basic concept of an open economic based on MenQ chapter 18. We will talk about net export, capital flows, exchange rate, and real-world example. And the first one is net export or NX. Net export or NX is the difference between export and import. The formula is NX equal export minus import. Export are goods we sell to other countries, and imports are goods we buy from other countries. Trade surplus if export are greater than import, and then trade deficit if import are greater than export. Example that increase and X. If Indonesia sells more palm oil to other country, export increase, and the NX is increased. And the next example is that decrease NX. If Indonesia buy more iPhone from Apple, import increase or NX decrease. Why can a country have a trade deficit? A country may import more than it export because people prefer foreign goods. The second one, the country has strong income growth, and the last, or its currency is strong, making import cheaper. And the next one is net capital outflow or NCO. Net capital outflow or NCO measure the flow of money going in and out of a country. The formula is NCO equals money invested abroad minus foreign investment in domestic country. Example that rise NCO is if an Indonesia investor buy property in Australia and money leave Indonesia and NCO increase. Example that lowers NCO is if a foreign company builds a factory in Indonesia, money enters and NCO decrease. Why NCO matters? NCO shows how a country interacts financially with the world. It affects exchange rate, investment, and economic growth. And the next one is Y and X, same with NCO. There is an important identity. It means like the value of good we send out or an X is the same value of money we send out or NCO. The simple explanation, if Indonesia export goods, it receive money from abroad, and that money is often used to invest in foreign asset. And this is the simple diagram. In an open economic, there is an important relationship between saving, investment, and capital flows. The basic idea is that a country total saving is used for two purposes: to finance investment within the country and to invest abroad. This relationship is expressed in the equation saving equal investment plus net capital outflow or NCO. What this means is that when people and business in a country save money, that money does not just stay idle. It is either used to build factories, machine, and infrastructure at home, which we call domestic investment, or it is invested in other country, which is known as net capital outflow. However, a different situation occurs when a country saving is less than its investment. In this case, the country does not have enough internal funds to support all its investment needs. As a result, it must rely on foreign capital. This leads to a capital inflow where money come into the country from abroad. Because of this, net capital outflows become negative, meaning the country is effectively borrowing from other country to finance its investment. A real-world example of this can be seen in the United States. The US often has lower national saving compared to its level of investment, so it depends heavily on foreign investors to provide additional funds. This is why the United States frequently experience capital inflows from other parts of the world. When we talk about exchange rate in economics, there are two important concepts to understand: the nominal exchange rate and the real exchange rate. The nominal exchange rate is simply the price of one currency in terms of another currency. For example, if $1 can be exchanged for 15,000 Indonesian rupiah, that is the nominal exchange rate. It only tells us how currency are traded in the market without considering the price of goods in each country. The real exchange rate, on the other hand, goes deeper. It measures the price of good in one country compared to the price of good in another country. In other words, it tells us how expensive domestic goods are relative to foreign goods. This is important because it helps us understand competitive in international trade. To calculate the real exchange rate, we use a simple formula: the nominal exchange rate multiplied by the domestic price level divided by the foreign price level. From this, we can see that if goods in Indonesia becomes more expensive while everything else stays the same, the real exchange rate will increase. This means Indonesia goods becomes relatively more expensive compared to foreign goods, making export less competitive. Another key concept related to exchange rate is purchasing power parity, or PPP. PPP is based on the idea that the same goods should have the same price in different countries once we account for the exchange rate. For example, if a burger costs a certain amount in Indonesian and another price in the United States, the exchange rate should adjust so that the burger has equal value in both places. PPP can work in the reality because of something called arbitrage. If a product is cheaper in one country, people will buy it there and sell it in another country where the price is higher. This process push price closer together across country. However, PPP does not always hold perfectly. One reason is transportation costs. Since moving goods between countries can be expensive, another reason is trade barriers such as tax or import restriction, which make foreign goods more costly. In addition, products are not always identical in equity, so even similar goods may have different price in different countries. Let's look at Indonesian as a simple case study to understand how international flows work in the real world. In terms of trade, Indonesia often experiences a trade surplus. This happens because the country exports a large amount of commodities such as coal and palm oil to other countries. When exports are higher than import, it means more money is coming into the country from trade, which creates that surplus. When we look at capital flows, Indonesia is a country that attracts foreign investment. Many investors from abroad put their money into Indonesian business, government bonds, and other financial assets. Because of this, capital inflow tends to dominate. In economic terms, this means net capital outflow is often negative, since more money is entering the country than leaving it. However, even with trade surplus and capital inflows, the value of the Indonesian currency, the Indonesian rupiah, has generally depreciated against the United States dollar in recent years. This means that the rupiah has become weaker, so it takes more rupiah to buy $1. One important factor behind this movement is global financial condition, especially policy from the Federal Reserve. When interest rate in the United States increase, investors often move their money out of emerging markets like Indonesia and back into the US to get higher returns. This shift is capital can reduce demand for the rupiah and cause it to depreciate. So the conclusion is net export show the trade balance of a country, while net capital outflows show how money flows across borders. These two are always equal, which connects trade and finance. Saving also plays an important role because it is used for both domestic investment and international investment. Finally, exchange rate and purchasing power parity help us understand how price and determine between countries. So, bye bye. Thank you for watching.